Now we'll wipe away the excess glue and saw the dowels flush. From here, we can screw in the hinge like normal. Here's a convenient way to help cut tape while packing up boxes. We'll use a small piece of the snap-off blade and tape it to the back of our thumb. Now we can easily cut the tape while packaging our boxes. We can apply some double-sided tape to this hammer to keep these small nails in place and to prevent us from hurting our fingers. Just stick the nail onto the double-sided tape and hammer it in. Our next project will be making a DIY drill bit. We'll fasten these 5 wood screws into this vise and then shave off the heads using an angle grinder. Next, we'll hold all of the screws together with a zip tie. Attach it into the drill, and now we can drill holes into wood. Sometimes we need to install wire clips in difficult places. Instead of using a hammer, we can use this wood clamp to drive the nail into the wood. Now let's make a sanding drum drill bit out of some PVC pipe. We'll cut 2 pieces of the same length. On one piece, we'll cut it down the middle and wrap sandpaper around the outside. Then we'll push the other piece inside to secure the sandpaper. Next, we'll attach a bolt with washers on each side. Now we can attach it to our drill to make sanding a little bit easier. We can take this angle grinder disc and cut it into a few smaller discs for our rotary tool. We'll insert a small bolt through the center and attach it to the bit that connects to our rotary tool. Now we can make some incisions into this PVC pipe to create a little holster for our tools. With these 2 pieces of wood, we can mark out a square notch. Now we can mount a bracket to one end with some screws. We'll then attach our handle to this piece of MDF. This will help us hold our pieces in place while we drill holes. We can unwind this thick wire rope by first cutting it, then attaching it to our drill. Secure the wire into a vise and drill it in the opposite direction to separate the strands. We can then shave down one side of this bolt and drill a few holes through its center. We'll add some nuts and then one of our wire strands into each hole. Separate the strands on each wire. And now we can use this as a drill bit to clean the inside of this pipe. By fastening this hacksaw blade over some washers, we can use it to help us cleanly tear off smaller pieces of sandpaper. If you need to hide screws, a good way to do it is by first drilling a pilot hole and then use a spade bit to drill a larger hole. Now install the screw and fill the hole with wood glue. Next, we'll seal it with a large dowel with the same type of wood. When drilling holes normally, sometimes the edges around the hole will start to chip. If we start our holes by putting the drill in reverse, this will remove enough wood on the top layer to not chip away the surface. Then, we can drill the holes normally for a clean finish. Want to add some color to these Christmas lights? We can use these straws to help. Just insert the lights into the straws and cut the straws to the appropriate length. We'll share all of this and more today on Workshop Insider. We'll cut out the damaged part of this vinyl floor and a new piece to match. Then glue the new piece down so that it's flush. We can use a broken screw as an anchor to another screw. Sometimes we need our bolts to be a bit more secure so no one can unscrew them. In this case, we'll use blind rivets. Now they're not so easy to remove. Our vinyl floor is a bit loose here. We can drill a hole in the vinyl floor and fill it with wood glue. Now we'll cover the hole by melting a crayon and then shaving it flat. To securely pack fragile items, we'll need to place our item between two layers of spray foam and plastic wrap like so. Our item is ready to ship. We can also repackage the item like so for multiple shipments. Leave a brush in the paint bucket and it'll start to sink. We can mark out a little notch and then remove it using a handsaw. Now the brush will hang on the rim of the paint bucket. Putting duct tape on wood before cutting will keep the wood from splintering. Use a utility knife to cut the duct tape in the shape that you need. Now we'll cut along the edge with a jigsaw. And our wood has not splintered. We can even use a plastic straw to anchor this screw. Drilling into drywall can create a lot of dust. We can use this plastic bottle as a shield to collect the dust. Now when we drill, any dust falls into the cap. How can we prevent this marker from constantly rolling? Simply add a zip tie to the end. Water that's left on the ends of these shovels will cause the metal to rust. We can prevent that by filling a bucket with sand and motor oil. Now if we set our shovels inside the sand after working, the oil will prevent them from rusting. Sometimes the clamping pressure and too much wood glue causes the boards to slide. We can use a bit of salt to keep the boards from sliding. We'll learn how to make our own dowels in this next project. Start by cutting out 2 quarter circles. One needs a hole about the size of the dowels, and the second needs a large hole. Attach the boards to a stud like so, with the router in between. Now we can pass the square dowel through and round it to size. The mortise and tenon joint is one of the strongest joints that we can make to secure these 2 pieces together. We'll start by making the mortise. We'll mark the exact center and then use our mortise router, making multiple passes to cut it out cleanly. Next, we'll make the tenon. We want to make sure that it fits snug, so we'll never cut past our marks. We can remove most of the wood using our table saw, cutting the sides and the bottom. It should come out like this. We'll remove the rest of the wood using a chisel and sandpaper. Now our pieces fit nicely together, snug, and everything lines up. Our last project for this video will be a handcrafted curtain holder, made out of this log and the extra piece of scrap wood. We'll start by drilling a hole into the center of the log and cutting out a large hole in the center using a hole saw drill bit. Then we'll cut off a round about 1 inch thick. We'll want to sand off the bark of our circle piece, and also sand off the edges of our straight piece. We'll end up with 2 pieces that look like this. We'll apply varnish to both pieces and let them dry. Pass the curtain through the circle piece and then lock it in place